GST, the sensation that has gripped our nation since its launch. We at Surya News are here to find out how the state of Telangana fared in its first month. We are here to interview Principal Secretary of Commercial Taxes, Mr. Somesh Kumar, I.A.S. We are here to find out about GST and the common confusions it has been creating. Firstly, what is goods or services taxes?
See, the GST, which is known as Goods and Services Tax, is a major tax reform. If we have to say, it is one of the biggest tax reforms in the country, and this is something which is going to change the way we do business. It is going to change the whole economy of India. It will make in India possible. It is an indirect tax, which means that everything that we buy, everything that we consume, it may be a good, it may be a service, we have to pay tax. And we have been paying tax earlier also, but all these taxes were multifold. And they were also in different state, different rates. So it was leading to a lot of confusion. Actually, goods and services tax simplifies the whole tax structure. And this is the beauty of this thing.
Since when was GST in the pipelines?
See, GST was in offing since 2000. So almost 17 years. But real thrust came some 10 years back, and that is the time when the concept was almost formalized. But since then, number of discussions have happened, number of times it was attempted by various political parties, but unfortunately it has taken very long. But last couple of years it has been moving very fast, and we are very fortunate that such a major reform is happening in front of us, which is going to change the entire country.
Okay. What impact does GST have on the present state of affairs?
See, GST actually means that the taxes will come down. It also means that the entire nation is becoming one common market. There is no borders. There is nothing which is happening which will stop anybody from doing business. Earlier, everywhere you went, there was a different tax. You saw huge queues, kilometers of vehicle parked, trucks and lorries parked, because they had to go and get some clearances, they had to put in a stamp, and all that was leading to so much of wastage. All that will now become history, and country will move fast on the economic development path.
What state taxes have been cancelled out by GST?
See, there were a number of taxes, like we had VAT, we have entry tax, we have entertainment tax. So almost central government and state government put together, more than actually 17 taxes have been removed. Similarly, you'll be surprised to know that 23 cesses which were also removed. So totally it means that almost 40 cess or taxes have become one tax, which is known as GST.
What is dual GST and why is it needed?
See, GST basically, in a country like India, which is federal, where central government had certain powers, state governments had certain powers, we needed a dual GST. And the other country which is big is actually Canada. So after Canada, we are the country who have introduced this. In most other countries, it is single GST, because there is only one economy, there is only important the central government is there. But here, the state government and central government both are there, and therefore we had to put GST in a dual form, and that is one is known as CGST, which is central GST, and the state, which is known as SGST. And what happens here is anything which is collected gets divided into two parts. One goes to the central government, the other goes to the state government.
How to issue central GST and state GST simultaneously on a transaction related to goods or services?
See, it is very simple. Actually, you don't have to bother about it. So once, suppose something happens within the state, you go to a cinema hall, or you go to a restaurant, you eat there. So immediately they will have to issue a tax invoice, which commonly we call it as a bill. So you will get the bill. There if you see, there will be total, suppose if you eat in a restaurant, it is 18%. Once you have 18%, 9% of the tax goes to the central government and 9% goes to the state government. So it is a very simple matter. When it is involving one state and another state, it is known as IGST. The whole money goes to IGST, and the state where the consumption takes place, there is where this money is actually going, and half goes to the center. So it is very simple. There is no confusion about it.
How will India get benefit from GST?
See, as I said in the beginning, GST is something very, very powerful. First thing is that we will all benefit. You have already seen the many costs have come down. You saw the cars are cheaper. Similarly, you find many of the food grains are out of GST. Similarly, you find that many cosmetic etc. rates are also coming down. So various items of common use which has come down significantly. So that is the first thing, that the cost will come down because there is no tax on tax. The second major thing is that it will help economy to grow. Ease of doing business will become a reality, and we can very easily do large scale kind of businesses. People will not get confined into one country and another. So those kind of things will happen in a very fast manner. Similarly, a lot of evasion which was taking place, the zero business which was happening, they will all come down. That is the beauty of GST.
Okay, sir. Who determines the taxes to be imposed under GST?
See, it is the Parliament actually has given power to the GST Council. The GST Council is headed by the Union Finance Minister, and all the Finance Minister or representative of the states, some minister is member here. So these people together, they decide what should be the rate, and it is a very simple and efficient system where you had seen that it was realized that the fertilizer rate is very high. So on 30th of June, suddenly the government decided, the GST Council decided that the rates are high, and they took decision overnight, and the rates were reduced for the benefit of the farmers.
What benefits does GST avail to small scale taxpayers?
See, all the small scale taxpayers, who are first of all, earlier if you saw the case of Telangana, 7.5 lakhs annual turnover people were in VAT. Now this limit has increased to 20 lakhs, which means all the people who had annual turnover from 7.5 lakhs to 20 lakhs, they are out of GST. This is the first thing. The second thing is 20 lakhs to 75 lakhs, they are known as part of composition scheme, which means that they will have very simple accounts. They will pay tax once in a quarter, and they will pay only 1% if they are traders, 2% if they are manufacturers, and 5% if they are hoteliers.
Are temples included in GST?
See, temple as such are not part of GST, but suppose if they do activities which will attract tax, suppose if they are selling something, if they are providing rooms which are more than 1,000 rupees, if they provide some special kind of services, that becomes taxable. Otherwise, temple as such or any religious activity is not taxable.
What happens when purchase of goods is from unregistered dealers?
See, if there is some unregistered dealer, actually in a normal course it is nothing, but certain items are there which are very important for the economy. Such items are put under what is known as reverse charge. So suppose you buy cotton from somebody, the person who purchases has to pay tax. Or suppose a small truck driver is there, he is using his lorry to transport something, so he is unregistered, but the person who is availing his service, he is registered, so he will collect the tax, and this is known as reverse charge. It is an important mechanism to control zero kind of businesses.
Why are textile traders opposing GST?
That problem is also solved yesterday, and most of the textile dealers have also come under this. Already, ready-made garment was part of VAT or taxation. Even textile was part of taxation because there was something known as central excise. But many other dealers who are in the field and all, they were not part of the VAT or any other taxation. So they have been saying that we have been so far out of taxation, please give us, keep us out, don't put under GST. But now things have changed. Actually, if you don't put taxation on, say, textile, it is going to become a problem, and that is very important, because if you don't put it, then we cannot compete with countries like China, etc., who will dump textile at a very low cost, and this will become a problem.
Is there any tax concession under GST?
Yes, many items have been kept out of GST. They are known as exempted services or goods. Suppose education is not taxed. Health is not taxed. Similarly, large number of food grains, they are not taxed at all. So these are the various things which government thinks is important, some programs, etc., that also has been exempted. So the whole idea is to not to tax poor people and common people.
What are the benefits of registering in GST?
See, once you register in GST, the first thing is that you don't pay tax. The person who buys, he pays tax. And you only get the benefit of all these things. You get ITC claim, means you get input tax credit. And that is what is the beauty of GST, and I think everybody should get it, because that will help you to grow. You will also get bank loan, because your entire history of economic transactions of taxation is recorded, which is very important.
Was our old system was failing us?
So it is not a question of failing, it was working well, our taxes were growing, all these problems, there was no major problem. But if you want India to become a superpower, if you want India to grow, it is very important that we should have, this kind of a system where entire country is economically one. We got freedom in 1947, but economically we got unified on 1st of July 2017 when GST came.
State government contractors are worried about the effect GST will have on unpaid dues. What's your comment on this?
See, there is no need for anybody to worry. Yes, there will be, when you do such a major reform, there will be certain people who will get affected, and obviously there are people who have got affected. The contractors are worried a lot, because they think that what is going to happen. It is very simple. The new tax rate has come into being, which means instead of 5% VAT, now the taxes have become 18%. But that does not mean that they will undergo problem. It is a very clear policy of the government. It is also written in the tender conditions that whatever additional taxes are put will be borne by the government. But here I should also add that though additional from 5 it became 18, but also you are not getting earlier ITC, which is input tax credit. Now new system has come in where you are also going to get some tax benefit. So whatever is the due to you plus tax minus ITC will be what will be paid to you. So they need not worry. In addition to that, our Chief Minister has also written to the Prime Minister and Finance Minister requesting that status quo may be maintained, or if nothing else, the tax rate for government contracts is lower down.
Should government agencies also register with GST?
It depends upon what type of business they do, but most of the government people, when they pay, they have to have certain DDO codes, because they will have to do tax deduction at source, which is very important, and I am sure that most of them are doing that.
Should we pay central excise tax for now?
See, all other taxes, as I said, other than some other things, all taxes like central excise, VAT, etc. have been abolished. So this tax won't be there.
With the fertilizer prices flying high, many people believe that GST is not useful for farmers and small businesses with no IT machinery. What is your view on that?
See, fertilizer prices, initially it was put at 12%, but soon I also represented to the GST Council and many other people raised, government has revised it to 5%. So that will mean that fertilizer rates will come down rather than increase. And you need not have to have a big IT setup to do such kind of thing. It is as simple. You can download an app to upload your GST returns, and you also have GST Suvidha providers in small towns also. They will also come very handy. And if nothing happens, our offices are also equipped as a facilitation center. You can go there, you can fill your things, you can continue to do your business as you were doing, as you were maintaining records. And for small traders particularly who are from 20 lakhs to 75 lakhs, there is no question at all, because they have to pay one-time tax in 3 months. So it is not an issue.
How does GST affect medical services and hospitals?
I told you that medical services are exempt. Health is exempt from GST, so it has no major impact on that. Certain other businesses, if they do in the hospital, that will be chargeable, but otherwise it is exempt.
What is the last date to register an online application?
See, you can register any day, but it should be from the day you have started a business. Within 30 days, you should register yourself under GST.
What are the consequences of not filing at appointed date?
See, it is the first thing is that you should file it within time. Initially, for the first 2 months, government has been very considerate, because a new system, you may have difficulties, so they have extended the dates also. But later on, if you don't file in time, your tax becomes due on 20th of the next month. Suppose for July, the tax becomes due on 20th of August. So if you carry on beyond that, first there will be a fine, there will be also interest, and if you do it repeatedly, your rating in the tax setup comes down, and finally, if it continues, you will be deregistered and you will not be allowed to do business.
What is the middle link between authorized banks and GSTN?
See, for payment, you can go to any gateway. You can use RTGS, you can use credit card, you can use debit card. There are various ways by which you can do this kind of thing, and there is no problem. Easily, in a seamless manner, you can make payments.
Why are petroleum products not included in GST?
See, the state governments, in their wisdom, thought that we should not in one go give away all our taxation powers, and alcohol and petroleum almost make half equal the same kind of amount which VAT earlier used to do or GST will do now. So therefore they were reluctant. But in the Act there has been a clear mention that if need be, whenever the GST Council decides, which will decide by majority, if they decide that petroleum should also be brought under this, it will come.
Is it mandatory to feed every transaction online?
It is not necessary that you should do like this. You can do it regularly, but definitely 1 month, whatever transactions you have done, you will have to enter it by 15th of next month.
Under GST, will there be any additional burdens on anyone buying a home or investing in a property?
So GST is not going to put, though it looks like that earlier we were paying less tax, means earlier we used to pay VAT and we used to pay service tax. Now that has been taken off, and the new system is known as GST, and you will have to pay 12%. So it looks something what was 5.75 has now become 6% more, which has become 12. It looks like that. But what was happening earlier is there was no input tax credit in those transactions. Now, because input tax credit, the actual tax incidence will be much lower, and therefore it is believed that the rates will come down rather than go up.
How will GST revolutionize the consumer process in the next few years?
See, now the whole, because of the GST, the transparency and the rate mechanism has become more transparent. You know that, earlier for anything that you buy, the central excise component was hidden inside the rate. Now it is separated. So you know that, okay, this is the item and this is the tax I'm paying, which brings more transparency, which brings more awareness among the consumers. And this is going to really help us to make things better, and consumers will, once they become aware, they will be able to take correct decisions, and frauds, etc., will come down.
Thank you so much for your time, sir.
Thank you very much.
It was very helpful to us and our viewers. Hope this interview has cleared some of your doubts and illusions about GST. Reena for Surya News. Please like, share and subscribe for more.